In today's news, business case supports the airport's expansion, enhances travel. BVI to better tackle crime with law enforcement recommendations. 2 UK experts recruited to assist. Deputy Governor David D. Archer is acting governor until May 20th. Paul Dennis, KC, appointed Jamaica's honorary counsel to the BVI. Sade Fonseca Smith shines light on maternal mental health. She's the founder and president of the BVI Maternal Mental Health Initiative. BVI community urged to take action against mosquito-borne diseases, observing Caribbean Mosquito Awareness Week from May 12th to the 16th. Contract signing ceremony held for the water mains and civil works for the Farmers Reservoir. We have the details of this and much more when 284 News returns.
As the winds start to whisper of approaching storms, it's time to safeguard your sanctuary.
Hey, have you checked your insurance policy lately?
Not recently, why?
It's very important to check your insurance policy before the hurricane season.
That's a good idea. I'll reach out to my provider and get some information.
Awesome. Come son, let's plan for emergencies together. We're gonna include your favorite comfort kit.
Thanks, Dad. That makes me feel safer.
We're packing extra medications and extra batteries for your hearing aid.
And by the way, don't forget my glasses.
Okay, Pops.
Alright, let me see. Okay.
Going on, dog? What you saying? You good? You got truck? How you doing? I hear trimming some of the branches to make sure they don't cause a frig when the storm come.
Fair point. I gotta go clean out the gutter them down by me so nothing don't build up. You know how that could go sometimes.
Makes sense. That's all good. We gotta be prepared.
Facts.
Sometimes we get off track, but that's okay.
Yeah. Thanks for chilling with the dog today, you know.
Man, anytime, you know I got you.
Yeah, but the place so damn hot now. And you know the old people them say when it's so hot, a storm somewhere out there coming.
Listen, I rebuke that in the name of great God of the universe, okay? Let me move these stuff so they don't cause a problem.
Alright, me and my neighbor window get knocked out of
Facts.
Remember, we're in this together. Reach out to your community, lend a hand, and shield each other from the storm's challenges. A message from the Department of Disaster Management and 284 Media.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you all the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for joining us and a terrific Tuesday's wish to each and every one of you. Beginning our newscast, Communications and Works Minister, the Honorable Kai M. Reimer, believes the territory stands at a crucial juncture. He says the runway at the TB Lettsome Airport significantly constrains the territory's ability to meet current and projected airlift demands. Reimer's comments were made in the House of Assembly as he updated the territory on the airport's proposed expansion and government receiving the outline business case, which he says is currently under review by a steering committee before it is submitted to the Cabinet for approval. The Communications and Works Minister says the business case document signifies the conclusion of the second stage of the project development, as outlined by the UK's Treasury Green Book's 5-case model, a respected framework utilized to assess major public investment projects. Now, the minister believes this business case builds upon the previously approved strategic outline case and strengthens the case for investment through rigorous analysis across 5 key domains: strategic need, economic justification, commercial viability, financial affordability, and management delivery. Reimer says the outline business case proposes an upgrade to accommodate larger aircraft, essential for improving international connectivity and enhancing travel efficiency.
The economic rationale for this project has been meticulously evaluated. The outline business case confirms that the preferred option, which includes extending the runway and expanding the apron, offers the most favorable economic return among the shortlisted alternatives. A mixed public-private financing structure is proposed, with risk appropriately allocated and value for money prioritized. The outlined business case suggests a modest increase in passenger fees comparable to regional peers to support ongoing availability payments under the public-private partnership model. Importantly, we will explore measures to protect residents of the Virgin Islands, including potential discounts or exemptions to mitigate the fee burden on local travelers.
Reimer says the outlined business case outlines a carefully structured two-phase procurement strategy, which is to ensure efficiency and minimize risk. Phase 1 includes getting a reputable international partner in airport expansion and management, and Phase 2, project delivery.
Infrastructure is recommended to be delivered through a long-term availability-based public-private partnership with private investors, assuming the risk associated with design, construction, financing, and operations. Recommendation for a special purpose vehicle created by the private consortium will oversee project implementation, while the government retains control through NUCO, a wholly owned limited liability entity under the British Virgin Islands Airport Authority. This model strikes a balance between public oversight and private sector efficiency, aligning with global best practices for infrastructure delivery in small island developing states and ensuring accountability, flexibility, and resilience. The outlined business case is not a final investment decision. Rather, it is a crucial enabling step requiring the formal endorsement of Cabinet for the following: approval to proceed with the procurement of the airport development partner, a notional commitment to future funding phases subject to further refinement and approvals, engagement with the United Kingdom Foreign and Commonwealth and Development Office to secure the necessary approvals under the territory's fiscal governance framework. And upon receiving these approvals, the next milestones will include finalization of airport master plan, completion of the environmental impact assessment and other regulatory clearances, issuance of the request for proposal, submission of the full business case, and commencement of construction we expect with a target completion for 2030.
Governor Daniel Pruce, His Excellency, has described Part 2 of a review of law enforcement in the Virgin Islands, which was recently published and debated in the House of Assembly as an ambitious and far-reaching roadmap for change to make the territory safer over the next decade and beyond. Members of the House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands were saying there are some areas in the review that are workable, others they categorically rejected. Members of the House of Assembly are upholding a united front on the issue and have signed a letter highlighting the areas of concern. This letter has been submitted to the governor. The governor, in a statement last week, said there has been a lot of discussion about the findings of the law enforcement review, and that is understandable, but it recommends improvements designed, he says, to optimize and support law enforcement agencies in performing their duties.
It recommends improvements designed to optimize and to support law enforcement agencies in performing their duties. This is a thorough piece of work which gives us a body of analysis that deserves serious and considered study and discussion. And collaboration will be at the heart of this. To succeed, we must take a proactive, integrated approach to tackling crime, including organized crime and the violence that gangs sadly proliferate. So I look forward to working with the Premier, the National Security Council, all law enforcement agencies, all criminal justice partners, all partners across government and beyond that can help us in this undertaking. As we all know, the first duty of any government is the safety and security of its citizens. By improving the governance and oversight of law enforcement agencies, we will be better equipped to tackle crime, including international organized crime, better able to protect our borders, better equipped to halt the flow of illicit finance, to make the criminal justice system more efficient, and to protect vulnerable people, while also safeguarding fundamental rights and freedoms. I'm grateful to the UK government for funding the review and helping resource the programme which will support the implementation of these recommendations. I have experts from the United Kingdom recruited to help work with key agencies to help develop those implementation plans.
Deputy Governor of the Virgin Islands, Mr. David D. Archer Jr. is acting in the office of Governor until 20th of May in the absence of His Excellency, the Governor, Mr. Daniel Pruis, who is out of the territory. Deputy Governor Archer Jr.'s appointment is, of course, in accordance with Section 37 of the Virgin Islands Constitution Order 2007, which states, and I quote, "During any period when the office of the governor is vacant or the governor is absent from the Virgin Islands or is, for any other reason, unable to perform the functions of his or her office, the deputy governor shall, during His Majesty's pleasure, act in the office of governor and shall perform functions of that office accordingly." Up next, we have much more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Father Jesus, that line you long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of it. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes,
Good
Sonny.
morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man protect you.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Attention Anegada residents! Attention Anegada residents! CCT is coming to you! That's right! CCT will be visiting Anegada every third Wednesday of the month. Need to pay your bill? Sign up for a new service? Or have a customer service concern? CCT has got you covered. No need to leave the island. CCT is here to make staying connected easier than ever. Mark your calendars for every third Wednesday starting October 16th and visit us for all your CCT service needs. For more information, call us at 444-4444 or follow us on any of our social media pages. See you soon, Anegada!
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you all so much for sticking with us. The government of Jamaica has officially appointed Mr. Paul Dennis KC as its honorary consul to the British Virgin Islands. Mr. Dennis, senior partner of the local law firm O'Neill Webster and a Jamaican national residing in the territory for the past 32 years, paid a courtesy call to Dr. the Honorable Natalie D. Wheatley, Premier of the Virgin Islands, during which time he formally presented his credentials and discussed areas of potential cooperation between the two Caribbean neighbors. Now, this marks the first formal appointment of a Jamaican honorary consul in the Virgin Islands. The appointment reflects the significant Jamaican diaspora residing within the territory of the Virgin Islands. It also signals a new opportunity for deeper engagement between the Virgin Islands and Jamaica, paving the way for collaboration in trade, economic cooperation, agriculture, border security, education, and cultural exchange. Premier Wheatley officially welcomed Mr. Dennis to his new role. Premier Wheatley said, and I quote, "As small island developing states, our strength lies in unity and our ability to stand together on matters of mutual interest and common concern. This new representation acknowledges the deep cultural and historical bonds between Jamaica and the Virgin Islands and creates a platform," he said, "for stronger community ties, practical cooperation, and mutual advancement. We look forward," the Premier said, "to working closely with the Honorable Consul Mr. Dennis and the government of Jamaica to deepen these connections and explore new avenues for partnership." In his new role, Mr. Dennis will provide consular support to Jamaican nationals within the BVI and promote Jamaica's interests in the territory, operating from offices at Commerce House, 181 Main Street, Roadtown, Tortola. He will also work closely with government officials to strengthen relations and identify opportunities for collaboration. Now, Mr. Dennis stated, and I quote in an official comment, "It is a great privilege to serve as Jamaica's honorary consul in the Virgin Islands. I'm committed," he said, "to serving the Jamaican community, promoting Jamaica's interests, and strengthening the relationship between our two territories. This appointment comes when Caribbean nations seek to strengthen regional ties and promote integration in response to global challenges, including climate change, food security, and economic resilience. I look forward," he said, "to working with the government of the Virgin Islands to advance shared priorities." The government of the Virgin Islands, in an official statement, said, and I quote, "The government of the Virgin Islands extends its best wishes to Mr. Dennis as he undertakes this important role. His appointment is welcomed as a step toward fostering meaningful engagement and enhancing the spirit of Caribbean solidarity within the territory." In observance of World Maternal Mental Health Month, observed on May 7th, 2025, founder and president of the BVI Maternal Mental Health Initiative, Shade Fonseca Smith, in a recent interview, spoke on the struggles of many women within the Virgin Islands and beyond suffering from maternal mental health issues. Fonseca Smith was at the time a guest on local radio program Talking Points on ZBVI 780 AM, where she spoke on the BVI's Maternal Mental Health Initiative.
So BVI Maternal Mental Health Initiative is actually newly formed. We were officially established last year, April. However, registration and documentation all went through by the ending of 2024. And so since then, we've been in an official capacity of working to create awareness about who we are and what we do. And we are a mix of mothers and mental health champions that are, not because they're not mothers, doesn't mean that they don't have experience in, life struggles, stresses, and things that, put them in a position where they had to fight to regain themselves and regain their identities. So we're all women. It's 8 of us right now. And we are all on the same page that we believe in our country, in our territory. We need to see more care in regards to the pregnancy stage onward to the postpartum stage, specifically surrounding women's mental health, because during that time there's a lot happening, a lot of hormonal issues, a lot of stresses, a lot of outside factors. Even just being pregnant can deplete your body of many things, especially nutrients, and so therefore eventually affects their mental health at times. And we believe that a lot of women are here and suffering in silence. They're not comfortable speaking up about these topics because of our culture, because of our stigmas associated with mental health.
The organization was founded in 2024 and presently consists of some 8 women who are mothers, as well as champions of mental health, all while, of course, providing a passionate support to women within the Virgin Islands.
We have our vice president, myself, the president, vice president, a secretary, a treasurer, and the rest are just board members. And we are all contactable on one number. As for right now, we use 547-5441. And then the information is transferred to all of the members. We have a group, and then we communicate that way. And we liaise, whether email, we also have an email address. And all of that is also on our Facebook page. So BVI Maternal Mental Health Initiative. We have our Facebook, our Instagram, and our website that we're working on as well. So the contact information is there too.
Fonseca Smith also spoke on the stigma surrounding maternal mental health that hinders women from getting the help they so desperately need.
We hear a lot of things where persons are saying, yeah, I see a therapist, and other persons might comment, oh, you must be crazy. And, that's usually the terminologies in our society, in Black society as well. It's always seen as a Caucasian thing to go to a therapist or be on antidepressants, for instance. And so we know by having one-on-ones with a lot of these women, whether they are friends and family members or strangers even that have came to each of us separately and said, hey, this is what I went through, but they never felt safe enough to talk about it to anyone else, not even their own doctors. And so we know because of that, there won't be statistics, there won't be any data, surveys, or anything going on that we can have actual numbers to say, this is a crisis in the BVI, but we know on the internal level, on the one-on-one level, that there is a crisis, but it's just not being talked about because women are afraid to speak up. And for many reasons, but one being the biggest one is the fear of the stigma that you may be crazy, the stigma that you are unfit to raise a child. And that can lead to other things. Social development can get involved in situations where persons are deeming that a mother is unfit to raise her child, but she really probably just needs a little extra help, a little extra support, or her doctor to intervene, ask questions, to see a therapist, a nutritionist, an endocrinologist, whatever it may be that she's needing in that moment. A lot of times they are not receiving that.
Additionally, she addressed the lack of financial support from stakeholders such as insurance coverage in order to continue maternal postpartum treatment.
Even with the postpartum coverage and care that is being offered right now, it's not enough. It's not enough. You get your initial postpartum check when you give birth, and everything else you have to pay out of pocket. And when you go back to the doctor, they check you to ensure that all is well.
When you say pay out of pocket, what do you mean?
So after the insurance covers your first check in the hospital, which means you just gave birth and the doctor comes to see you in the hospital. When you leave the hospital and you go to do all your postpartum checkups, you would have to be paying that yourself.
So that's kind of crazy, really.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
The coverage, and if I am wrong, because I asked a question to a nurse my second time around because I was kind of confused myself. So if I am wrong, I would really like the facts of what the documentation says. Sometimes it's that we really don't know or we are misinformed. Because I was told that was the last coverage that I have for postpartum. That's what I was told.
Up next, we have much more coming up. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Pop the Balloon or Find the Connection. Let's meet our first contender, ladies. Okay, Joey, so do you have any toxic traits?
I'm very restrictive. I don't give more time. What you get is what you get. I don't like to give unlimited time. That's it.
Okay, can you tell us why you popped your balloon?
That's a little too restricted for me.
Thank you for coming. Okay, ladies, so let's meet our second contender.
Sorry, excuse me. Why did you pop a balloon? I could give you minutes, data, unlimited call, overseas call, fiber. What else you need?
My friend used to date you. You are scam. She used to be for everything and more. Nothing to offer.
Okay, ladies, let's welcome our last contender. You look nice. Can you tell us your name?
Thank you. My name is Christian Charles Thomas. They call me C Sweetie.
What do you have to offer these ladies?
Well, security, trust, unlimited time, and I'm pretty fast.
Okay, so do you have any deal breakers?
Nah, but here's my number. 444-4444. Y tú, vida ilimitada.
Okay, guys, so no pop balloons.
For a fast, reliable, and secure connection for your personal or business life, call us at 444-4444 or visit any of our CCT stores and we'll get you connected with the perfect match for you.
Rashford made it. Manchester United have come from behind to lead.
At home or on the go, watch CCT Live.
Download our app and carry your favorite TV shows, news, or live sports anywhere you go. Visit cctbvi.com/live, select your package, and tune in.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you all so much for sticking with us. Residents of the Virgin Islands are being urged to take action against mosquito-borne diseases as the territory observes Caribbean Mosquito Awareness Week from May 12th to the 16th. Acting Deputy Chief Environmental Health, Mrs. Shamel Thomas, said the Environmental Health Division will be observing the week under the theme Small Bite, Big Threat, Stop Disease Transmission, Start Source Reduction. Mrs. Thomas said this year's campaign focuses on empowering communities to take action against mosquito-borne diseases such as dengue, chikungunya, and Zika. The message is clear, she said. While the mosquito may be small, its bite carries a serious threat to public health. Residents are being urged to eliminate standing water in and around their homes, as it only takes a small amount of water for mosquitoes to breed. Source reduction is the most effective way to prevent outbreaks and protect our communities. Mrs. Thomas explained that over the years, there has been inconsistent community participation in source reduction. She said, and I quote, "Persons are not maintaining their property and keeping it free of litter and stagnant water. The intermittent water supply is also a contributor to the issue because of the improper management of stored water. We want," she said, "to remind the community that vector control is not solely the government's responsibility, but rather a shared community effort," the acting deputy chief said. Now, the public is being encouraged to take action to reduce mosquito breeding and protect the health and safety of the community by inspecting and cleaning water containers weekly, properly disposing of waste that can collect water, using screens on windows and doors, and wearing protective clothing and using mosquito repellents when necessary. The division will be hosting an art and poetry competition for students to observe Caribbean Mosquito Awareness Week, in addition to hosting a series of public outreach activities, school visits, and expo to encourage behavior change. The mission of Caribbean Mosquito Awareness Week is to rise above and raise awareness on the connection between mosquitoes and the diseases that they transmit, like dengue, fever, chikungunya, and Zika. Earlier today, May 13th, 2025, a contract signing ceremony for consultancy services for the engineering, design, and construction management of water mains and civil works for the Farmers Reservoir took place. The ceremony was attended by several key stakeholders of the BVI government, as well as the private sector and the RDA. Director of Program Delivery at the RDA, Mrs. Shana Smith Archer, provided background on the project at its official contract signing ceremony.
The consultancy services for the engineering, design, and construction management of the Farmers Reservoir. The Paraquita Bay area has long been designated as farmland, supporting both livestock and crop farming for several decades. Farmers in the area depend on water for essential activities such as irrigation, livestock care, and maintaining their farms. As water demand for this agricultural region increases, the existing infrastructure is being upgraded with a reservoir. This enhancement is aimed at improving water supply reliability to better support the agriculture sector. The initiative acknowledges the vital role of Paraquita Bay's farming community in the Virgin Islands and is committed to meeting their water needs in a sustainable manner. This project involves the design, procurement, and installation of a water reservoir, the mains or the connections, as well as a distribution network to the farmers operating in Paraquita Bay. The project is currently at its design stage, and the consultancy services for engineering, design, and construction management of the mains and civil works for the Farmers Reservoir represents the next activity within the stage. For clarity, just so that everyone knows, the project is intended now to kick off as far as the design, with today's contract signing, and practical completion is expected in October 2026.
And that is it for today's News Roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com, as well as to like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. I'll see you again tomorrow. Do have a safe and enjoyable evening. Happy Tuesday. Goodbye.